Peace, Oakland. Y'all remember my video, Journalistic Malpractice, where I called out Oakland's media for ignoring the federal bankruptcy case in Kentucky, where the city of Oakland was being sued for $1 billion for bankrupting a company that wanted to ship coal through the port of Oakland? And remember when I said that we would lose that case more than a year ago, after the lower courts in California ruled against the city of Oakland in the original OBOT case? Y'all remember that? I remember. Judge Wise's scathing decision made it painfully clear to anyone with a brain that the city attorney's office was acting in utter disregard for Oakland taxpayers. And remember when retired Alameda County Superior Court Judge Brenda Harbin Forte was running for city attorney in the Oakland side, in the Oakland Post, and all the no-colon Oakland bullies smeared her for simply refusing to sign their loyalty pledges? They even ran ads on Warriors games, Warrior playoff games at that, very expensive, just to tie her to the coal monsters, costing her the election so Ryan Richardson would win. Because why? Because what we know now was the only sensible position to take, and especially considering that Ryan Richardson, heir to the incestuous throne of Barbara Parker, both of whom did sign loyalty pledges and spend our taxpayer money like it was their own, are the ones who got us into this mess in the first place. And remember when that same magnificent Harbin Forte came on to Gotham Oakland and we walked through the early stages of this case. She said it then, plain as day. It was highly likely that we would lose, and the city of Oakland should be looking to make a deal. And recall when Oakland City Attorney Ryan Richardson swore that the city would prevail in this mess after the city of Oakland sent lawyers across the country to meddle in a bankruptcy case that had zero benefit to Oakland taxpayers. He did it out of blind loyalty to the Sierra Club and the no-colon Oakland bullies, not out of duty to the people of Oakland that he was sworn to serve. And remember that same Ryan Richardson bragging about signing those loyalty pledges, promising to keep coal out of Oakland, just like his political mommy, Barbara Parker. Yes, he did it to get elected, and while the local media spent 9 years manufacturing consent and grandstanding against OBOT and the so-called coal monsters, even though it was obvious that they had legal standing from a deal the city itself signed, and they were right all along. And do you remember the last 3 mayors? Libby Schaaf, whose cowardice, dishonesty, and pride kicked off this whole saga. Then the village idiot Shintao, and now Shintao 2.0, Mayor Blah Blah Lee, all of whom also signed these same loyalty pledges to the Sierra Club and No Colon Oakland. Fun fact, Barbara Lee is personally named in this bankruptcy decision, not once, but twice. But we'll get back to that later. As a matter of fact, everyone but Ken Houston signed that pledge, but we can forgive them. They were led astray by intense emotional blackmail and the city attorney's dishonesty. But now the city just lost big time. As in $673,658,000 big time. Even the city's own consultant pushed the floor of the damages to low end in the $250 million range. Again, remember, I called nearly that exact same number a year ago. And all this for a case where the city of Oakland needed just not to spend taxpayer money, hiring out-of-state lawyers to meddle in a bankruptcy case involving a subleasee tied to another lawsuit that we hadn't even won yet. You know, like literally just don't do that and we don't go bankrupt. But no, Ryan Richardson just had to play super environmentalist savior. There really ought to be a law against hijacking the entire city's legal department, draining it of resources to fight ideological crusades, and losing so catastrophically that the city teeters on the brink of financial collapse. Ryan Richardson should resign in shame. And if there isn't a law against this type of civic malpractice, then there absolutely needs to be. The damages of this decision will be felt for generations. These are children who won't be properly educated. These are senior centers that won't be reopening. These are roads that won't be repaired. You know what happens in municipal bankruptcy? Oh, we've covered that on Gotham Oakland. But just as a review, the people who are owed the debt holders, and then they're ranked between who is owed the most debt, they form a committee. That committee makes a recommendation to an administrative law judge. You know who's owed to death in Oakland? Now it's about to be ITS and the bondholders, Wall Street bankers. So you're about to put the future of Oakland's finances in the hands of Big Coal and Wall Street. Thank you. No Coal in Oakland. Thank you, Sierra Club. Thank you to everyone who signed those loyalty pledges. Thank you, Oakland Side. Thank you, Oakland Post. Thank you for the media for ignoring all of this. Thank you very much, because now we're about to go bankrupt while you guys fell asleep at the wheel. And this is why I make this show. This is why we do Gotham Oakland. Oh, speaking of which, on a happy note, we are having a party, y'all. We are having a live stream-a-thon, just like the kids do, the live stream thing. We're going to be in Gotham Oakland's headquarters, the Batcave. You can see where the sausage is made. Come tour the studio. We're going to be making some little nice touch-ups and decorating. We have a great main room. Fun fact, I don't know if you noticed, but Jerry Brown used to actually live here or rent this building or own this building. So it's an awesome place to party. We're going to have a good time. We're going to raise some money to keep Gotham Oakland going so you can keep getting the truth, because you're not going to get it from the city of Oakland. They're not telling you anything, right? Nope. All right, so I have a great presentation for y'all. Make sure you RSVP for the party. We're going to put the information right up here. So well, you go right here. Click on that. All right, moving on. Oakland's $673 million disaster and how No Coal in Oakland bankrupted the city. The performative altruism has now run its final course in Oakland. It's going bankrupt due to these progressive ideologues who have collapsed us with the defund the police math and this No Coal in Oakland. So many people supported No Coal in Oakland. Again, I don't blame you. The media basically only told you one side of a story for so long. So let's get into it. Insight Terminal Solutions versus City of Oakland. I said, all right, here's a picture of all the culprits I just named. That's Gilchrist underneath City Attorney Ryan Richardson, who was to your upper left. To your bottom left is William Gilchrist, who used to be the planning director. I believe he left. Then you have Libby Schaff. Libby is the one who signed that lease in the first place. Yep. Then you got Blah Blah Lee. Then you got Shing Tao 1.0. Then you got Barbara Parker, the political mommy Ryan Richardson. Again, we played an incestuous game here. That's why. Is that why Kaplan's back? What's up? Are you back? Is this why you're really back? I don't know. Rebecca Kaplan's back in City Hall, in case you didn't know. Yeah, she's back. She's going to be helping with the homeless stuff. But maybe she was really back to try to find some magical money, you know, how she likes to do. She always finds the magical money. You're going to find some magical $250 million or $500 million? Okay, well, we'll see. Everybody say hi to Kaplan. Bye to Kaplan. Why is she back in City Hall? Getting paid $150,000. We're going bankrupt. I don't know, but we'll do an episode on that next week. But yeah, if you're new to Gotham Oakland, we got sock puppets of most of these people. But anyway, I digress. Let me read what's on the screen right here. The city's leadership enacted a plan to stop the terminal from moving forward. Let me just start at the beginning. Before and after the execution of the sublease ITS, the city of Oakland took steps to enact a plan to stop the terminal from moving forward, where various city officials and employees, including without limitation, the mayor, city council members, Carol Fife, anyone? The city attorney and her staff, including, without limitations, Bijal Patel, I should have had Bijal's picture up here, the city administrator and her staff, and the director of building and planning and his staff, that's Gilchrist, took actions to interfere with and frustrate the development of the terminal. So look at those faces. Shame on y'all. Y'all got Oakland bankrupt. Okay. In case you didn't know, let me give you some very, very brief background. In 2016, the city of Oakland signed a lawful 66-year ground lease with OBOT to develop a bulk terminal at the old Army base. In 2018, after pressure from No Coal in Oakland, the city unilaterally killed the deal, violating its own contract. Judge Lloyd, the bankruptcy judge, confirmed the city acted in bad faith and unreasonably interfered with the debtor's performance. Very unreasonable at that. Okay, there is Judge Joan Lloyd. The city's conduct directly led to the debtors filing its bankruptcy petition. That is kind of paraphrasing, but the exact language is the procedural history of OBOT 2 demonstrates the defendant engaged in a vigorous defense of the allegations levied against it. Vigorous. The defendant improperly attempted to terminate the ground lease and acted in bad faith. Indeed, the defendant used nearly every available procedural opportunity at its disposal to mount a defense, including filing a motion to dismiss, demur, anti-SLAPP motion, anti-SLAPP appeal, motion for summary judgment, a 35-day bench trial, and the appeal of a statement of decision and judgment, the Oakland Bulk and Oversight Terminal, LLC, 112, blah, blah, blah. All of those were, in each instance, the city lost. So there was no, in each instance, the city lost. So there was no other judgment in the defendant's favor creating a reasonable dispute. All of that you hear there is money we paid. Very, very expensive. Millions of dollars in legal fees we paid to chase this out of ideology, remember. So here's another part that I found very interesting from this case. Moreover, the planned description of claims and disputes is a far cry from an ambush on an unsuspecting party in interest. The city's own filings evidence that the city knew that its conduct was central to ITS bankruptcy filings and implementation of the plan. Again, we injected ourselves for no reason. Okay, so let's go over the city's bad faith. So following a bench trial in California, the California Superior Court, remember they even tried to take it all the way up to the Supreme Court, but they did not take it. The case, of course, but the California Superior Court entered the statement of decision detailing that the city acted in bad faith. And they improperly attempted to terminate the ground lease instead of substantially responding to OBOT ITS or ITS engineer. And despite these rulings against it by multiple courts, the city and its employees continued with their pattern of interference, with the newly elected mayor, Barbara Lee, doubling down in 2025 that she would do everything in her power to stop development of the terminal. Barbara Lee has now accountability in Oakland's bankruptcy. She's mentioned twice. The judge made a decision and is going to rule in damages. And you better believe they mentioned her twice because they're showing that there's a continued pattern of city officials to act this way, unlawfully. There's a document right there for you to watch. Look at it yourself. Take a look. Very serious, guys. All right, segment 3, the money. Let's get to the money. We're going to wrap this up soon. So, the debtors believe the city of Oakland, with sufficient time in the Chapter 11 case, they can negotiate resolution with the city of Oakland that will allow the project to move forward and the debtors ITS, and enhance the value of the sublease for the benefit of the debtor's creditor. However, if the debtors cannot to consensually remediate the Oakland overburden by collaborating with and partnering the city of Oakland, then they assert that this court is empowered to educate and otherwise address the master agreement. This is, wow. Basically, they have us by the balls. So what this means is that ITS owns the city of Oakland. Obot, Phil Tagami, he owns this. He's got Oakland by the, I want to say short and curlies, I get in trouble. I can say by the balls, either one. Balls and short and curlies, whatever you want to say. They've got us in a vice. It's not good. All right, let's talk about some political fallout. Because remember, Barbara Lee's mentioned twice. On page 8 of 47, they mention her. And then on page 30 of 47, they mention her again. That she'll do everything that she can. The tortious conduct of the defendant continues to present. Tortious conduct. My God. All right, my man Ken Houston. This is the fault of a negligent city council, city attorney's office, and previous city council and mayors signing loyalty pledges to environmentalists while ignoring their oath of office to the people of Oakland. This should have been resolved years ago in closed session. I agree with Councilmember Houston, and had they came in good faith, they could have struck a deal years ago and avoided this bankruptcy case. But it's too late now. So here's what this means for Oakland taxpayers. If these damages stand, which they will, Oakland could owe over $670 million, nearly 1 full year of the city's discretionary budget. This would likely force massive service cuts, layoffs, and bankruptcy protection to pay the judgment. We didn't just lose our lawsuit, we may have lost our financial future. So remember that. Remember how much effort went into this entire. So I don't blame anyone for siding with the no coal and oil people. Kids can't breathe. No coal terminal. Now, if you're new here, remember studies, they did environmentalist studies from the city's own stud vendors that there was no such thing. I mean, go back and watch the episodes on Gotham Oakland. I don't want to go through it all today. But let's take a closer look at the soggy side propaganda machine. So back during the election, as I said, Oakland side, in their role of manufacturing consent for the progressive causes, ran this story. Oakland Coal Terminal developers have a favorite candidate for city attorney. Hedge fund executives backing the proposed West Oakland hub have spent $24,000 supporting Brenda Harbin-Forte's bid to head Oakland's legal team. They didn't talk about how much money they spent from no coal in Oakland bankrupting the city, but I'm going to go through this actual article real quick with you. Oakland side, I got some smoke for y'all. Okay. Then you got a picture of Judge Brenda Harbin-Forte simply says, I cannot sign a loyalty pledge to environmentalists when it looks to me that this is the losing case and we should be looking to negotiate our way out of it. She said this over a year ago when these things still could have happened. She is now vindicated. She was absolutely correct. You wouldn't know that if you read this article. They made a big deal about $24,000 to an independent expenditure that Harbin-Forte has no control over, but they wanted to make it look like it was going toward her, in case you read it, which most people don't. And the committee was created by Greg McConnell, a lobbyist who represents ITS, and he created his own committee and put money into it because they were trying to move forward with this deal. Now they're trying to give the appearance that Judge Brenda was in on it. Environmentalist groups say they're alarmed to see coal money in Oakland's election again. You see how what they brought out to the bold? You see how they made that part bold? No coal in Oakland. The group also asked them to sign a pledge not to take money from coal interests. And they interviewed both people. Ryan Richardson, who is currently the chief assistant attorney, told the groups he would follow whatever directive the city council and city administrative gave him regarding the coal lawsuit. He is the city attorney. It's his job to give the opinion. What is he saying here? What a non-answer. Harbin-Forte refused to sign the group's pledge. And a no-coal activist wrote that Harbin-Forte made several comments they thought that indicated she wouldn't fight against coal. Another example, for Ted Franklin, a member of No Coal in Oakland, told Oakland side that Harbin-Forte emphasized her fairness and how she was open to listening to both sides. That sounded like a judge's perspective, but of course, in this case, she's not obviously setting herself up to be a judge. She's going to have to make decisions about what resources to put into fighting the coal interest, which the city of Oakland had decided are not in the city's best interest. No Coal in Oakland decides the city's best interest. And Oakland side repeats it. The manufacturer consent. It's clear to see what side they're on once you go back and you can reflect on it. But anyway, Harbin-Forte says anti-coal activists have mischaracterized her statements. Of course, they pushed that toward the bottom. And let's see what she said. The message I sought to convey to the no coal group was that I would never meet with the coal interest and make commitments to that side, leaving the no coal contingent out of the discussion. And so I would not make commitments to them without considering both sides of the issue. I stressed that I could not be bought in any event and that donations from coal interest or from no coal interest would not sway my actions. She told the activist she did not know enough about the case and that she wanted to study the contract at the source of the dispute and a court ruling to determine the best path forward, including whether it might be time to look at trying to settle the litigation if it appeared in the best interest of the city to do so. See that? Okay. I got another one for you, though. Today, Oakland side had to release a story at 11:09 a.m. What an odd time. Right after I released my press release, they rushed the story out because they knew I was scooping them, and nobody took any quotes. Nobody talked to them, so they just rushed it. They didn't give anybody time to respond because the story just broke because they had to rush it out. The city's tortious interference bankrupted a coal company. ITS is a shipping company, but anyway, so notice how they're still trying so hard. They never give up. Now the city could owe millions, hundreds of millions, nearly over $500 million maybe. Anyway, a massive legal blow against the city's long-running effort to stop construction of a coal export terminal in West Oakland. The city, on behalf of who? Not taxpayers. Of No Coal in Oakland and the Sierra Club. Oakland's on the hook for potentially hundreds of millions of dollars in damages. Why don't you just put that in the title? Yeah. Very short article. Nobody responded to them because nobody talked to Soggy's side. So let me wrap this up. This is the hardest, most difficult I told you so I could have. I don't want the city of Oakland bankrupt. I know what a bankrupt city goes through, and I know who's going to be harmed. Who's going to be harmed are the same poor people in the lower bottoms and Deep East Oakland and in Fruitvale who are watching their city be preyed upon by illegal dumpers and criminals. We have less money to fight these things now. A bankrupt city, the West Coast Detroit, that's the handiwork of the progressive movement. Remember, I told you guys, progressive bankrupt and destroy cities. This is the result of their policies, their causes, their movement. They've got to own it. What are they doing instead? Not a statement from the city of Oakland yet. We haven't seen a single statement from the city of Oakland yet. They're talking about charter amendments because they're going to try to blame all of this on the charter. And Mayor Blah Blah Lee is going to try to blame it on Libby Schaaf and say, I don't know what happened before I came here, but there she is in those court documents pledging her loyalty to No Coal in Oakland and Sierra Club, saying that she will also continue this quest to do whatever she can to keep coal out of Oakland. It's over. You guys bankrupted us, and now coal owns Oakland. So no, you didn't keep coal out of Oakland because of your actions, now coal owns Oakland. ITS has us by the balls. It's a wrap. Pack it up. Seriously, Ryan Richardson, resign in shame. Absolutely. There should be some criminal charges coming your way. If there's any justice at all, there needs to be criminal charges coming Ryan Richardson's way. What did you swear an oath for? He violated his oath of office. That oath needs to stand for something. And every single person who signed the No Coal in Oakland pledge needs to make a public statement that they will no longer continue that foolishness. I want to see something. Peace, Oakland. See y'all here Friday. Let's have some fun and party. Man, this is a problem. This is the bad days. Oakland's going bankrupt, y'all. I told you. I warned you. Y'all should have listened.
Yo, I swear it's only up from here. Yo, I swear it's only up from here. Yo, I swear it's only up from here. Yo, I swear it's only up from here.